Alright guys, so today we're going to finish up some work with order of operations, and we're going to throw in what we've worked on all week last week about exponents into the mix. So go ahead and push pause and copy this objective down. Your objective is I will use what I know about exponents to solve order of operation equations. So push pause, copy this down. When you're ready, push play, and we'll go on to the next slide. Okay, here we go. So we have two very different yet similar problems. Okay, we're going to start with the easier and get progressively harder, and then I'll give you three really good examples that you'll have to refer to when you're working on your classwork tomorrow. Okay, so first off, let's just do a quick review of PEMDAS. P, E, M, D, A, S. The P is for parentheses. We've done multiply and divide, right? And we've done add and subtract. My arrows aren't looking too hot right now. Let's do some arrow repair. Okay, so today we're going to focus on the E, and the E stands for exponents. Now remember I said order matters, so we're going to look at the order of PEMDAS. So parentheses first, exponents second, multiply and divide left to right third, and then add and subtract from left to right fourth. Okay, and you guys should already have PEMDAS written in your notes, but this is just a quick review. If you want to copy that down, you can push pause, copy it down when you're ready. Come on back. All right, so if I follow PEMDAS, I'm looking at this problem and I see that I don't have parentheses. So I'm going to move on to my next letter, which is E exponents. Right away, I notice that this one here has exponents. This doesn't, and neither does this. So I'm going to look at this one here. 8 squared is 8 times 8. Now some of you are making the mistake of saying 8 times 2 is 16, but it's not. It's 8 times 8. And 8 times 8, if you use your multiplication chart or your calculator, is going to be 64. I'm going to go ahead and bring everything else down. I'm going to bring the rest of my equation down. And instead of using the x there, because we're in algebra now and we're going to be practicing using either parentheses or a little dot. All right. So now I'm going to follow PEMDAS. I did my exponent. So next I'm going to look to multiply and divide. I have a 64 minus 6 times 10. So I'm going to do this first. So a negative 6 and a positive 10 is going to give me a negative 60. And I'll bring down my positive 64. So far, so good. Now my problem looks a lot easier. I have a positive 64 minus 60. If I need to look at those as integers and use my column method, this is a positive 64. This is a negative 60. I'm going to subtract 60 from 64. 4 minus 0 is 4. This is 0, so my answer is a positive 4. All right? So far, so good. That is a 4. It's an ugly 4, but it is a 4. So if you don't already have this written down, go ahead and copy it, push pause, write it down, and then when you're ready, push play, and we'll go on to this next one here. Okay, so now I have this problem. Now remember, P means parentheses. So I have these parentheses, and I have an exponent. But because P comes first, I need to see if I can do the problem inside the parentheses first. So I look in here and I see 2 times 3. That is a simple problem, and I can solve that before I do my exponent. So I'm going to say 2 times 3 is 6. And then I'm going to add my exponent and then bring down my minus 7. Now going back to PEMDAS, I got rid of that parenthesis, sort of. And now I'm going to do my exponent. So 6 squared is 6 times 6, okay, which is, if you use your calculator, we have 36. And then I'm going to bring down my minus 7 equals, right? So now I have 36 minus 7, and it's a simple subtraction problem, and that's going to give me a positive 29. Okay? A little bit more complex because we had to do, this is true PEMDAS, we had to do what's inside the parentheses and then my exponent and then subtract. So you did multiply and divide out of order, but only because it was inside the parentheses. So if you have this copied down, go ahead and wait for me to go to the next slide. Otherwise, push pause, write it down, and when you're ready, push play, and we will continue with the next slide. Lovely. So here we have another one similar to the last one, but this time my exponent's inside my parentheses. So in order for me to get rid of this equation here, I need to do this exponent operation first. So first I have to find out what 3 times 3 is. I'm going to bring down my 12, bring down my plus, and bring down my parenthesis and my 7. But now instead of 3 squared, I'm going to say 3 times 3 is 9. So this becomes plus 9. And so a little out of order, but in order for me to complete what's inside my parentheses, I needed to do this exponents first. And now I can do what's inside my parentheses. I don't want to do 12 plus 7 plus 9, although I could, and it will give me the same answer. I still want to do what's inside my parentheses first to get in that really good habit of following order of operation. So 9 plus 7 becomes 16. Bring down my 12 plus 12 plus 16 is a 28. And there's my answer. I hope I didn't confuse you. Just try and look back in your notes about rules of exponents. Make sure you're eliminating the inside the parentheses first, and then following multiply and divide, add and subtract from left to right. That's it for tonight. Have a great night.